bro, listen, if you're making women make out with you, guys make out with your wife, guys make out with your daughter, I don't care what you say. There's a perversion involved. There's no question about that, bro, because you're writing it.
All right, so let's go broing down memory lane, ladies and gentlemen. Eric Bischoff spoke about making out with Linda and Stephanie McMahon on the 83 Weeks podcast. This is what he had to say. He said, I think Linda, as in Linda, was a better kisser than Stephanie, to be honest. He later went to say, there's something about, it's that MILF thing. It's just awesome. You could tell she hadn't had a lot of attention in a bit because she, at first, she probably felt like I did. Oh, this is so awkward. And this is the guy that tried to put us out of business and all the things that I did. And now here I am in her office, in her home, physically accosting her. Look, Stephanie, younger, obviously, physically, because she's younger, much more attractive. At the time that I made out with Stephanie with the little witch on that, with the little witch hat on, babies hanging out, that was pretty fun. That's what he said. So Vince Russo, if he booked this, he would get canceled.
Bro, I would never, let me say this for the record right now, okay? I would never and never did book any crap like that. To me, bro, that's creepy. And listen, bro, let's be honest, bro, honestly, and you're not going to believe this coming from me. First and foremost, bro, this is wrestling. Okay, this is not Hollywood and movies. This is wrestling. Yes, do you need storylines and characters? Absolutely you do, but that's not what this business is. I don't know, bro. The thought of Vince McMahon being involved in something where Bischoff's making out with his wife, like to me, bro, there's just something wrong with that. I would have never done anything. Bro, listen, man, I worked with some of the most beautiful women you'll ever see in real life in that wrestling business. And bro, I was, a couple of those businesses, I was I played a role on television where I had a lot of power and influence. Bro, you know how easy I could have been making out with Velvet Sky if I wanted to. Let's just be honest. I would have never done that in a million years. And I'll tell you why, bro. Because you put a woman in that situation. It's different now. But back then, bro, you put a woman in that situation. It's the boys' club. It's professional wrestling. Bro, they ain't going to say no. Sure. They're not going to say no. Linda McMahon's not going to say no. Stephanie McMahon's not going to say no. All those angles that Vince did with Trish and all those women, they're not going to say no. Vince knows they're not going to say no, bro. So to me, that has always been so freaking creepy. And you could say whatever you want about me. I never used any power I had to get over on women that couldn't say no like that. Yeah. Just imagine the production of that. Vince McMahon is just right there. Lay it on her. Lay it on her. Come on, Linda. Right.
Come on.
You're dead right, Chris. That's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah. I want to see more tongue, Linda. Come on, Linda. To me, that is creepy. Yeah, it's just creepy, man. What do you think, EC3, about Vince McMahon and his telling Linda to just lay it on him?
Yeah, just give it to him hard. They say there's a thin line between genius and insanity, and Vince McMahon's a genius in a lot of retrospects, and he's insane in so many more. So, yeah. I mean.
Bro, that's not being insane. That's taking advantage of women that can't say no. That's criminal.
I can see it being taking advantage of women that couldn't say no, and like a power play to like the Trish things or other like
the Trish thing.
To have your arch nemesis
language
to your wife on television, I don't know if we got into that, or just like kissing your enemy, like, man, I don't know, consider me old-fashioned, but Mrs. 3 stays with Mrs. 3, and she sure as hell is not going to be on a wrestling show making out with somebody I hate. And I don't know if the broad picture was people will get talking about it. Like, I don't think it sells tickets, but it might get attention. But at the same time, how much is it worth sacrificing the alleged love of your life and mother of your children to the temple of...
Well, hold on, bro. Let's add another level to this, EC3, because I don't know the timing, okay? Bro, Vince McMahon was not living with Linda for decades. Decades. So when we're talking about this, we don't even know if they were living in the same house as husband and wife. So like that adds a whole other level to it, bro.
I mean, but I feel like Linda could have said, Vince, no, like, stop, go away.
Maybe.
But if they're not together and they're both getting a piece of that pie, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's just because going back to what you said, EC3, we have to, I think what's worse to me is just comatose Linda having to look at a tongue locking of Vince and Trish Stratus, someone who is young enough to be her daughter, in the mouth of his in the mouth of Vince McMahon, and she has to play as if she's in a comatose state, just looking at it, and it's just like, yuck! Like this is horrible, man.
May I provide an alternative point to that one segment and piece of business? Dude, did you hear the pop when she got out of that wheelchair, though?
Okay, so here's the thing. I mentioned that before. That all was leading into the pop of her getting out the wheelchair. But at the end of the day, though, is that momentary pop worth the tongue locking? Because the thing is, in retrospect, EC3, the creepy French kissing is still more over than the coming out of the chair spot. So like that, the coming out of the chair is still not as over as that. So Vince McMahon wins again. Like Vince McMahon wins again.
But like 23 years later, are we talking about it? Yep. So
yeah, that's true, but not in a positive way though. It's just in a creepy way. So let's put NWA World's Heavyweight Champion EC3 in that spot.
Okay.
And say you were supposed to be a part of an angle where Stephanie McMahon, you know, she's supposed to be
in my head. I don't know. I'm sorry.
So Stephanie McMahon and EC3 is in an angle where, you know, you're cutting your philosophical promos like you do so well. And Stephanie McMahon, she comes out, she plays the billion-dollar brat, right? Princess Brat. And then all of a sudden, a part of the segment is, at the end of the segment, you're going to shut her up. You're going to put the microphone down. Yeah. And then you're going to engage into a big old tongue lashing, tongue hockey with Stephanie McMahon.
The only thing
what would you do?
Yeah. The only thing that would prevent me from that is the fact that, I mean, Stephanie's a beautiful woman. And any man, especially Paul, is lucky to, you know, court her and hold her hand and kiss her goodnight. But she reminds me of my sister a little bit. So that'd be the only holdup, but it wouldn't stop me either.
Yeah. Okay. So Stephanie McMahon, I can understand. So that I'm doing this on purpose.
Okay.
So next is Linda McMahon.
Easy. got a grandma fetish. That's fine.
Bro, listen. if you're making women make out with you, guys make out with your wife, guys make out with your daughter, I don't care what you say. There's a perversion involved. There's no question about that, bro, because you're writing it. You don't have to write that. No,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to write
I never wrote that. I would never put anybody in a position. Never, ever, ever, ever. Bro, I remember that there was an incident at TNA where we had Angelina Love and what was the beautiful girls with the black hair? Winter.
Madison Rain.
No,
Winter. Okay.
What's her name?
Katie Lee Burchill.
Yeah, but what's her real name? I can't even think of it off the top. I still keep in touch. But anyway, bro, the storyline was that she was attracted to Angelina. That was the storyline, and she was really coming on to Angelina. See, now, bro, it was so different because Angelina could come to me.
Waters.
Yeah, I can't even believe it off the top of my head because we still keep in touch. But, bro, Angelina was very uncomfortable, and she told me, Vince, I'm real uncomfortable doing that. No problem. End of storyline. It is that simple. This is a perversion, bro. Like literal. Never in my wildest dreams would I write a scene where my wife and my daughter are making out with a. Come on, bro. Like seriously. Seriously, bro? Why do you do that? Because you can and you know nobody can say something? Come on, man.
So CM Punk left AEW, right? Let's go. Well,
he is the genetic juggernaut, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
He's full of power, full of stroke, and he's telling everybody that we all can
He's a madman. He's a madman.
Yes, he is. Watching Vince McMahon's documentary, I psychoanalyze things all the time as a doctor, and it makes sense. It makes perfect sense to me of why Vince McMahon is the person that he is. It really is. I mean, troubled father and things like that. It's kind of like a middle finger to the world. You know what I mean? Like when people have trouble past like that when it comes to the fathers and they get power hungry. They get to the point of like they have those trouble past. They get to the point of saying, okay, well, either they're going to cower or they're going to be like hyper power hungry. And so Vince McMahon just chose to be the one who, is a survivalist and was able to use those feelings of abandonment to usurp other people and gain power and control over other people because of his past. So
that's interesting. I think you should do a deep dive on it.
Yeah, man. If I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something, Nice. If I had the time, I would be. Most of my YouTube channel would be psychoanalyzing wrestlers.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, if I had the time to do that, I would do that. I would.
If I learned anything from Wyndham and like a passion and art and a talent you have, man, don't waste it too.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're busy and that'd be cool.
It'll come. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.